Hey guys, what's going on? Russo here bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are bringing you a video on our first initial thoughts on this brand new hunter method. I'm going to call it a tracking method that is actually available for everybody on Fossil Island. So for those of you guys who don't know, you do have to have 100 kudos to get to Fossil Island. I actually explained that in a previous video for level 3. So we are currently playing on our max level 3 skill account, and we are actually doing the hunter slash herblore slash tracking method, whatever you would like to call it. So basically what this method is, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar, is essentially you are tracking what is called an herbivore around the island, or around this portion of the island, I would say, by tracking his footsteps and inspecting smelly mushrooms and muddy patches. So my first impression of this is an absolutely incredible method. I absolutely love it. I'm having an absolute blast doing it. Now, one thing I do want to mention is it is not the best hunter XP per hour. So if you were to actually go ahead and do black chinchompas or any other sort of hunter method, this is not the best hunter XP. At about maximum efficiency, you're getting around 160k XP an hour. Just to keep in mind, black chins are about 260k XP an hour, and they're also much more GP an hour. So I've been doing this method probably now for about 20 to 25 hours, so I just want to give my initial thoughts. So that herbivore that you saw right there, that's actually a pet that you can get from this method, and that's why this method has been so hyped up over the last couple days. Obviously, Fossil Island is still very brand new, and I'm very excited about it. I mean, if you guys can just see visually, this area is beautiful to be in. It's a great little area. It kind of reminds me of Alice in Wonderland a little bit, so it's really cool. I really like it. There's really not much, there's really not much, at least that I've accessed, that's very similar to this in RuneScape. Maybe the Fairy Tale Islands, but the mushrooms are really cool. This whole tracking method is very cool as well. I've actually never done this. I think you can actually do this with Kebits, but I've actually personally never done it. I did my hunter using salamanders into chinchompas, so I've never done that method myself. But this method is awesome. Like I mentioned, it's about 160k XP per hour. I was getting roughly around 3 to 400k GP an hour. Really depends what you do, and it also depends on your luck. So supposedly, according to your farming level, you get the best herbs. I don't know if it's farming or herb. No one's really kind of confirmed it yet, but I believe it matters on your farming level. Although it's extremely strange because this is technically considered an herblore kind of mini game. I don't want to even call it a mini game, like an herblore method, we're gonna say. This is actually considered an herblore method. So the herblore XP here is not very good though, which is also very interesting. So on average, I'm getting a little bit over 1,000 XP an hour by doing this for herblore. But like I said, we're getting 160,000 hunter XP. We gained actually over 2 million hunter XP since we have been here in the last 20 to 25 hours. So, but as I mentioned, also there is a pet from this kind of hunting or tracking. It's actually supposedly considered a herblore pet as well. That is exactly why I'm doing this. I'm not doing it for the money, guys. I'm not doing it for the XP. I'm not doing it for any of that. I really want the pet, and that pet, his name is Irby. Now, you actually get this pet on the XP drop of the herbs and not actually the hunter. So it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit different. So I think most of the herblore experience you actually get from this minigame will most likely come from the herbs that you get in your inventory and making potions thereon after, and not actually doing this tracking game itself. So, but for, just overall based on this tracking game, I really have enjoyed it. There's no reason why I would have done 25 hours, and I'm going to hunt for this pet. We're going to get this pet. The pet drop rate has not currently been released yet. People are speculating it's about a 1 in 3k, 1 in 5k, which is an extremely rare pet. I've speculated in about 20 to 25 hours. We've probably done anywhere from 800 to 1,000 herbies, or anywhere from 800 to 1,000 tracking. But as you can see here, the mechanics of this is really cool. So the way that the track goes, essentially what you want to do is you actually want to inspect the mushrooms or the muddy patch. It'll be either one of those. One of those will actually trigger a new patch to go. And those tracks that you actually see, or the tracks, excuse me, but those tracks that you actually see on the ground will lead you to the next muddy patch, or will lead you to the next smelly mushroom. Now, one of the things you guys might be wondering is it's very confusing. You do kind of lose the tracks. That's one of the tips that I actually do. I play in resizable mode, as you guys can see, so more of the tracks are actually available for us to see, and we're able to actually click on the smelly mushroom or the muddy patch prior to us actually getting to the area, which definitely helps with the efficiency and the XP per hour that we're getting. So the one thing I do want to say is I've gotten used to all the different types of paths that they like to throw at us. We are well aware of where all the tunnels are. Now, the tunnels are actually where you want to attack. You don't want to search them. Searching the tunnels actually does absolutely nothing for you. Searching the tunnels will let you or make you aware that the herbivore is actually in there. But if the tracks are leading right up to the tunnels, 99.9% of the time, I'm not going to say 100% of the time because I don't actually know for sure, but 99.9% of the time, they are right there and they are in that tunnel. So all you have to do is go over there, attack the tunnel, the herbivore will come out, you will stun him, you will receive herbs off of his back, and then he will go back into the ground, and you will have to reset your tracking by inspecting a rock, or there is a log, or is there a mushroom in certain areas. So The other thing I want to mention is you can get the currency that is used on this island, Fossil Island, Numalite, as you can see in my inventory right now. You can also get large, medium, you can also get small, medium, large, and rare fossils from this method too. So every time you go ahead and inspect a muddy patch or a smelly mushroom, you do have the opportunity to get a large fossil or any sort of fossil that I just mentioned. We just happen to have a large fossil in our inventory right now, but there's, you know, there's long paths that are available, there's short paths that are available. I obviously prefer the shorter paths, but as you can see here, we are inspecting the rock. Once you inspect the rock, it kind of initiates a brand new tracking for you. So that's what you're going to want to do. I absolutely love this method, as I mentioned before, but I just want to give you guys my first initial thoughts on it. I think it is absolutely fantastic. Now, the one thing that is a little bit weird about this is the banking system. So banking has been very, very difficult for me. I am very fortunate to have 99 construction. So the way that I like to bank is I take my construction cape, go to my house, and then I regen all my run energy and my HP. There's actually level 109. They're called fungi. They're called ancient fungi. You can actually pick them on accident or on purpose if you'd like to actually fight them. They're level 109, and as a level 3, we've actually gotten two-shot twice by them. So we've actually died doing this method, which is pretty crazy to think about. The ammonite crabs that you actually see on this beach right here really don't do too much damage to us. Obviously, we have experienced some sort of damage dealt, but we're kind of taking it up with our agility cape right there. So, but yeah, if you pick that fungi, you will actually have to fight it, or you can run away with it and get it out, and then go back and retrace your tracks at a restart. So now there's another thing where you might actually lose the track, and there's another thing when you might actually go to a mushroom, or you might actually go to a muddy patch, and it'll actually tell you that the herbivore, you will have to start over. So just when you go there, you can go to another rock. Now the rocks, the mushrooms, and the logs, there's only one mushroom and one log on the island that you can actually inspect in order to start the tracking. Everything else is considered a rock. So what you want to actually do is you want to go over there, and they're marked by the hunter paws on the map. So if you're ever lost, if you ever need to know where to go for a rock, they're actually marked by the hunter paws on the mini map. So it's very, very beneficial to make sure you're looking at your mini map when you do that. So the other thing I want to mention, like I was explaining before, is how I actually bank. So I take my construction cape, I teleport to my house, I regen on the regen pool, so we gain our run energy back. As you guys can tell, we do carry 2 staminas with us. This is very, very intensive in terms of agility and in terms of stamina, in terms of running. So you're going to be running constantly all day when you're doing this. And that will maximize your XP, that will maximize your efficiency, and that will also maximize the number of times, or the number of chances, I should say, for you to get the pet. So I tell you to my house that I actually go to Castle Wars. Castle Wars is a really, really nice bank to go to. So we go to Castle Wars, we put everything into the bank. We do not clean any of our herbs, guys. We also don't do any of the fossils yet. There is a base camp on Fossil Island where you can actually clean the fossils, and you can actually do them in grouping. So we were saving all of our fossils. We're going to go clean them in groups. But we deposit everything. We withdraw 2 staminas. We withdraw our construction cape, and then we actually teleport to Fossil Island, and we actually go to one of the mushroom teleportation systems. So then we actually used, I believe it is the mushroom field, and once you actually teleport using the mushroom field, you will get right back next to one of the rocks where you can actually go inspect it and redo it. So with using that method, I was able to get 155k XP an hour at max. That was very sustainable over the course of the hour. There was one time when I did misclick on the fungi, so we potentially could have got up to that 160, but keep in mind, guys, one of the best strategies for this is to actually use an herb sack, and as a level 3, especially with no Slayer points, we actually do not have that access. So if you guys do have an herb sack is absolutely wonderful to use here. All you have to do is just store the herbs into the sack. There's also a leprechaun located near the farming patches. There's 3 farming patches, as most of you guys know, with the mahogany and the teak trees. You guys can go over there. There's a leprechaun, as you see in the upper left-hand corner of my map, right there where the farming space is. You can actually make your herbs noted if need be. So Iron Man and Ultimate Iron Man can absolutely do this, no problem at all, which is awesome. So I think that's a very, very, very cool addition that RuneScape or Jagex did, and I don't think it's really noticed by a lot of people. It's just kind of one of those things that's very subtle, but it's very, very helpful to accounts like UIMs or Iron Man or what have you. So I could also do it on a normal account if I didn't want to bank, but having the herb sack, you're going to probably want to take like 4 to 6 staminas. Without the herb sack, we only take 2, and we have no problem. I mean, usually after we end up, using up our 2 staminas, we usually go back with about 3 or 4 doses as well. Sometimes we don't actually use up every single stamina that we have. So we're able to fill up our entire inventory. Now, when you do harvest the herbie or the herbivore, he will actually give you 1 herb, 2 herbs, or 3 herbs, depending on how good your luck is, and it all varies. I mean, there's anything from guam leaves to irids to renards to snapdragons to torsals. So it's all different sorts of herbs. Now that just might be because my farming level is actually 99. I'm not actually sure if that applies to everybody. So somebody going to this, so the Rex for this as well, just to kind of get in there, is about 80 hunter and 31 herbivore. It's not about, it is 80 hunter and 31 herbivore. So depending on your farming level, supposedly that's how you actually get the herbs you get. So if you do go in there with a lower farming level, I don't know if you can get torsals or snapdragons. No one's really kind of confirmed or No one's confirmed that yet. I've only been doing this with 99 Hunter. I've not actually tried it. And there is a super rare fossil that we actually just got in our inventory, which is awesome. So, as I mentioned before, you can get all different types of fossils. And I've pretty much fallen in love with this way of Hunter. I think it's absolutely amazing. Will it be the way that I get 200 mil Hunter? No, it will not. I would definitely go do Black Chins. Black Chins on a level 3 in a 1500 total world. You guys will be able to see a video on it, but it is incredible to do, and you will make a lot of money doing it. It'll help me a lot with all my other Bible skills. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I just want to give you guys my first impression on this Hunter method. I was going to do a top 5 tricks video for this, and I think I will actually do that to help you guys out. Some, little tricks. They're all little shortcuts that you can take on the actual island. Once you get used to the pathing of where the tracks go, and once you get used to the pathing of where, the seaweed is, you can inspect seaweed. There's also seaweed inspection instead of the patches for the mud as well as the mushrooms. So once you get used to the pathing, there's little tips and tricks that you can do, and I would like to share those with you guys. So if you guys are interested in that sort of video, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to put that in or make a video for you guys. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next video.